G'day everybody, my name's Kimberly. This is Fly Like a Girl, Fearless and Fabulous. For those of you who watched my last video, I'm just going to explain a couple more things about that somewhere down the track in this video. But first of all, what's going on? Well, I'm driving, and I'm driving for my training business. I'm I don't know, about half an hour north of Sydney at the moment, something like that. I've driven from a few hours, probably about an hour and 3/4 into the journey by now from my home. I'm going to Canberra, Australia's capital. Actually, that's not even quite true. I'm going to Queanbeyan, which is next door. But I always say Canberra when I'm going to Queanbeyan. My training business is operating there tomorrow. I'm going down there to do that one day of training. As you probably saw in my previous video, the very first comment was I've been really busy, and I'm super busy, although I'm about to come into a quiet time of the year as we approach Christmas. It's only, it's October at the moment, but I've got a few things going on. I've got to go and have a few medical things dealt with. Nothing that's an issue, nothing that will affect my flying or anything like that, but I've got to dedicate a bit of time to sorting a few things out there and getting a few things sorted out with my business. We're in the middle of trying to franchise one of my businesses, so that's keeping me really busy. Before I put TKY in for annual, I really feel like I've got to go and do some flying, so I've been looking for an opportunity to do that. I had hoped to fly down to Canberra today and fly back on the Sunday, which I could have done, except the wind is really, really bad at the moment. Excuse me. Over the top of the range between a place called Camden and Mittagong, there was something like 35 to 40 knot headwind, and in a Tomahawk that's just no fun at all. So I elected to drive instead. I don't know, it's 5.5 hours or something like that drive, something like that, each way. So I'll do that, and the car is fully packed then to continue to do a little flight. So you're going to come along with me, and it's not such a little flight, it's quite a long flight actually. So yeah, come along and come for the ride. I want to tell you about something that you did miss out on though, and I missed out on as well. For 2 years in a row now, I've wanted to fly to William Creek, way out in the outback, out in the desert country near Coobapedy, for the William Creek fly-in, and that would have been fabulous this year because I'd planned to be there. And right now, Lake Eyre, which is usually bone dry, is absolutely topped up. So any of you that know the Australian deserts will know that we have lakes. We call them lakes. I want you to think of something like the Bonneville Salt Lake. That's what they are. And Lake Eyre fills occasionally from, or it gets water in it occasionally from large sort of cyclonic events a long way away from where Lake Eyre is up in the northern part of Australia. Lake Eyre is down in the sort of South Australia region. And it takes many, many months for the water to slowly travel over all that flat desert country and outback country to get to Lake Eyre. Would have been fabulous to fly out there. It's a long way, but I was planning to do a lap around Lake Eyre and have the cameras fitted and everything, and you would have really enjoyed that, I'm sure. Anyway, we'll try and get out there some other time. The lake won't be full, but it's still a spectacular flight. So make sure you subscribe. because that's one that you don't want to miss out on. I'm also planning a few other desert trips. I want to go to one of the outback races. Want to go to more outback destinations. Now, when I get back from this trip, so I'll go down today, train tomorrow, drive back overnight essentially. I'm going to sleep in the hangar, that's the plan anyway, and make sure the plane is ready to go for Monday. And then on Monday I'm going to fly up to do a job for my solar thermography business, so my drone business. Those of you who follow along probably seen me do that before. I have a drone business, and one of my major pieces of work is to do what's called thermography on solar farms. So that's what we're going to be doing. I've been there before, a place called Eyre and a place called Kingaroy. I had actually planned to go south to do this solar farms that belong to the same company that are down towards Victoria, but this wind and the associated weather means that that's not really going to work out. So I thought I'll go up to Queensland and do there first. So what's that mean? Well, Monday we jump in the plane, we go from Maitland via Corinda, via Warrialda, via Gondawindi, where we refuel, and then from there we're going to fly for the first time ever into Kingaroy. Now, I've flown around the region west of Kingaroy in gliding competitions, but I've never flown into Kingaroy, so that'll be a first. And we'll pick up a hire car there, go out to the Kingaroy region, do some solar thermography there, and go out to the region just outside Kingaroy, do some solar thermography there on a farm. Should be a day or two of work, day and a half perhaps, depending on the weather and curtailment and other things. And then back to Kingaroy Township, return the hire car, jump in the plane, fly up to Gladstone. Now, normally I would fly to Thangool, and some of you might have seen me do that in a past episode. But the issue with Thangool is you can only hire a car between 8:30 and midday, and you have to return it between 8:30 and midday. And that just doesn't work for me. So, now I know I've hired one later than that before, and they've just dropped the keys for me, but it was just too much to get it all organised this time. So, in the absence of the phone number to talk to the lady who very kindly allowed me to pick up the keys after hours last time, I've decided instead I'll fly into Gladstone, somewhere I haven't flown to before. I haven't worked there before, and we'll pick up the hire car there, drive the 2 hours out to Eyre, do the solar farm thermography there, and then on our way. So stay tuned for that episode, coming real soon. And I did want to just make a comment. In my last video about unprofessional behaviour, I want to just point out that I'm speaking from my own personal experience, my personal interactions with 4 different maintenance organisations. So it's based on that. However, I should point out that the people that I've booked the plane in with this time have gone through a little bit of a change of, shall I say, a change of management. I had a long phone conversation this time before booking it in. The mechanic there that I normally deal with is fantastic. He's done a little bit of work on my plane in between annuals. He did the front strut regas. He did the replacement of a master cylinder on one of the brakes. And he's always done great work, and he's always been great to deal with. Anyway, they're going to check the wings again, as you would imagine. They do that anyway. You know, for an annual, they're going to look inside the wings. They're going to make sure there's no corrosion, all that kind of thing. But what they did this time is they said, let's do that before the annual. We don't want to have you come in for an annual, start that process, and then tell you there's something wrong with your wings. Now, I'm confident there isn't anything wrong with the wings. I've looked at them, and they've been signed out by 2 other mechanics last year. So I'm 100% confident they're okay. But they're doing the right thing. Rather than put it in the annual, start stripping it down and doing other things, and then look inside the wings and go, oh my dear, we've done $10,000 worth of work, and the plane can't fly, or you know, or it needs this or needs that. They're doing the right thing. They're going to have a look first. So what have we got happening? I'm trying to remember. 13th of October, they're going to come in, they're going to pull the access panels off and the wingtips off, have a good look inside with the borescope, which is what I would do, and I have done. And then there was something else they were going to do. I can't remember what it was. I don't know. Anyway, if it all goes well there, and I expect it will, then we'll be into annual. Now, I invest a lot in stock market and other things, and one of the things you learn if you do that is you always have a plan for if it doesn't go the way you want it to. So if it doesn't go the way I want it to, we've got a plan. In other words, if the wings do have an issue, which I do not expect, then we do have a plan in place. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm only talking from my experience with a certain number of maintenance places, and others have confirmed that process. So anyway, let's see what happens. Why don't you subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell notification, and let's go fly to Gladstone together.